What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. We are here at the shop on a Saturday. That's why I am doing the recording myself, so it might be a little bit different than usual. But we got to buy a new project for the YouTube channel that I'm super excited about. It's something that I have always wanted, and I finally had the opportunity to buy one. So I'll just go ahead and let y'all see this thing. That's right, we bought a 1-ton buggy. So we're going to start a little build series on this thing and let y'all go along with us as we build this thing and get it ready to ride for the winter time. But I'll show y'all a little bit more on this thing and kind of give y'all a rundown of what it is and what all we're going to be doing to it. Okay, so as you can see, this thing is a brand new chassis. Like I said, it's brand new. It's been powder coated. Um, Still has a lot of work to be done to it, but for the most part, this is a very good platform for us to start off with. Unfortunately, with some of the stuff that we're wanting to change on this thing, we are going to have the thing completely blasted and repowder coated. I do like the color, but being a fabricator, there's some stuff on this chassis that I don't like and I do want to change. We did not have this chassis built for us. We had found it and bought it the way you see it right now. It did not have the motor and stuff in it, but I'll kind of give y'all a rundown on what all the parts are on this thing and what all else we're going to be getting for this. So we'll start up front. As you can see, we on our front axle, this is a Kingpin 60 out of like a K30 square body Chevrolet. It's been fully trussed. It's got the bump stops on it and everything. PSC hydro ram. One thing that we do have to do is we gotta get all the right outer knuckles and everything for it because this was a dually front end. So we gotta get all the right outer knuckles. Then, as you can see, it has no internals in it. Still debating on what exact axles and stuff that we're going to go with, but kind of the game plan for right now is to do a 35 spline chromo Yukon axle with super joints and everything in it. So, like I said, that's kind of a rundown on the front axle. Buggy, like I said, it's got a lot of good parts on it, but still has a lot of stuff that needs to be bought for it. Unfortunately, my wallet's gonna be crying for the next few months. So I just picked the buggy up yesterday, and then I went ahead and bought this motor. This is just a stock 6.0 pull out. Obviously, we're gonna be doing a cam in it and everything. Just cam, good valve springs, new lifters, push rods, all that jazz, and then we got the Holly Sniper sheet metal intake. Went ahead and bought that for it too. Got the throttle body and everything. So that's going to be our motor platform. I have a guy that's supposed to be delivering me the transmission and transfer case. We're going to be doing a Turbo 400 mated with a MP205 transfer case. So all that's supposed to be coming today. Obviously, all these parts need to be gone through and freshened up, and we got to buy a caulking ring and a few other different things for the transfer case. I am by no means an expert whenever it comes to off-road stuff. I've always been in the off-road community and stuff like that, but never to this extent. So this is going to be a huge learning curve for me and Derek, but I'm super excited about it. Let's not mistaken. We are not getting into the business of building buggies or off-road stuff. Our main priority is still all the race car stuff. But this is just a project for us, and this is something that I like to do, and I have a lot of fun with. Kind of takes my mind away from all the race car stuff. Um, Anybody that has ever turned their hobby into their primary job will understand what I'm talking about. Honestly, at the end of the day, whenever I'm done working on race cars, the last thing I want to do is honestly work on my own race car. So this is something a little bit different. But so yeah, so it'll be a 6.0 cam, turbo 400, MP205 transfer case, Kingpin 60, and then in the rear we just have a standard 14 bolt that matched with the Kingpin 60 out of like a K30 or something like that. As you can tell, it's linked front and rear. We have a ginormous fuel cell. I believe this is a 15 or 16 gallon fuel cell. So got plenty of fuel to do trail riding. Got the radiator already in there, and then something cool that's about this chassis is your coolant actually runs through the chassis from the front to the back. We're going to be putting AN fittings on the chassis side and on the radiator side. That way it's all AN hoses and I ain't got to worry about lines coming off or anything like that. So from there, as you can see, we have no shocks. So we got to buy shocks. We got to buy bump stops for the front. May end up putting bump stops on the rear. Got to buy gears, front and rear, axles, front and rear. We're going to go ahead and put 35 spline axles. We need brakes for the rear. Need brakes and all the outer C stuff for the front axle. Need seats, and then we got to buy a ECU for this thing. We're not going to be running a stock ECU. We're just going to go ahead and put a Holley HP or Terminator on this thing just to clean it up. This by no means is going to be like an all-out build. We kind of have a budget that I'm wanting to stay in on this thing, but definitely not going to put a bunch of junky parts on it. It's going to be a very nice trail rig. Something that we can get out, beat on, play in, but this is by no means a race rig or set up to be raced or anything like that. So just something we can get out, have fun in, and beat the dog crap out of, and hopefully not break too much stuff. But so we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna spend a little money where it matters. But unfortunately, with me being a fabricator, like I said before, there's some things that I want to change on this chassis. So one of the biggest things is on the front side of the chassis. I am not a huge fan of this spiked point area. So today, like I said, we're here on a Saturday, and that's what I'm going to be working on today. Is I'm going to be cutting this off here. I'm going to cut it here first, right through here, and just get rid of the spike out of the center, and maybe see if I can't utilize these right there. That's just not my style. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. It honestly don't look that bad, but it's just not my style, and I kind of want to put my own style to this buggy. But we'll be getting rid of that. One reason I want to get rid of it too is because it honestly makes getting the motor in and out kind of hard. That, and then another thing is if I don't want to run, a lot of people run the intakes backwards, but I haven't decided if I want to run the intake backwards or forwards on this thing. And if I decided to run it forward, I can't because of this spike right here. So there'll be a little time lapse of me cutting this thing off on the front side, and then trying to work in some new bars and see if we can give it my own style. The next thing that I want to change on this thing is this Nike swoosh right here. Like I said, it don't really I'm just not a fan of it. To me, this little swoosh right here does not match the rest of this chassis. So not only does it not match, I also don't like it whenever I mock the seat up in here, and like my feet would, if I was to flip this thing, there's a good chance that my legs come flying out of here because of how low it is right here. So I'm not sure if we're going to cut much of this out, but I will be adding a bar somewhere from here to here. So it'll have a nice little diagonal bar that runs down through there to kind of encapsulate myself a little bit more. Something else that we're going to be doing, since, like I said, this is going to be a trail rig. So we plan on going to Windrock and places like that and actually camping and going riding for several days and stuff like that. So something else that I want to do is we will be paneling the side of this thing. Not exactly for sure how we're going to panel it. I gotta get the bars changed that I want to get changed on it, but we will be doing insert panels, or at least like 2 to 3 panels on this thing to kind of encapsulate the side to keep us from getting as dirty, and if it's muddy and stuff like that, keep us a little drier. That too, and then whenever we're riding stuff, kind of keep some of the rocks and shit off of us too. The other thing too is we will be paneling the roof, because I've had several razors that do not have roofs on them, and during the summertime you get absolutely roasted without a roof. So we will be doing a roof panels on this thing. That way it kind of keeps us in the shade, and then too, if it does start raining on us while we're riding, obviously we won't have a windshield or nothing, but it'll keep the majority of the rain off of us. They also serve a little bit of a safety purpose too, just because if you're flipping, or like I said, if you're hill killing and it's throwing rocks, or like I said, if you're flipping, it kind of keeps that stuff from coming through these bars right here. We're not going to do nothing crazy thick. It'll all be aluminum panels with tabs with rib nuts in it and stuff like that. But yeah, that's kind of a good overview on this thing. Obviously, we're getting rid of these wheels and tires. So if anybody is needing a set of 44-inch Super Swampers on a set of bead locks, these things are for sale. They're pretty cheap, but we're going to be running a 17-inch ATX slab. I just have some laying around, so that's what we're going to be running on this thing. And probably either going to go with a 43-inch TSL sticky, or we're going to do the 43-inch Mickey Thompson Baja Pro SXs. Y'all let us know which tire that y'all might like better, because that's going to be one of the last things that we buy, are tires and stuff. But let us know which tire you think we should put on this thing. Also, too, like I said, this thing's going to get repowder coated, so leave a comment of what color you think we should powder coat it. Should we go back with this color that's already on there, or should we? I've been kind of thinking about doing something that's a little bit more like our logo colors and stuff like that, to match the business logo. So just let us know what y'all think about this project, what y'all want to see on this project, and maybe we'll definitely be needing some ideas for parts and stuff like that. Like I said, we're no experts in this realm, so it's going to be a huge learning curve for us, but I'm super excited. But that's it on this thing for now, and I'm going to get to cutting on it, so we'll do some time lapses of me whacking away on this thing. Alright guys, so we got as much done as we could this weekend. Got most of the main bar structure done. Pretty excited with the way that this has turned out. Not exactly what I wanted to do, but it was the most I could do with what I was working with, and I really didn't want to cut out a whole bunch more bars, so I did all I could with what I was working with, like I said. Pretty much all this is done. It will clean itself up a little bit more once I finish grinding these tubes down, getting them capped off, and then getting the outer bars capped off. The only thing that's left to do on the front is we are going to be running a winch on this buggy, so I got to decide what winch I want to run, and then obviously we'll be having to build us a winch plate and a winch mount for this thing. So we got to get the winch mounted. Then once we get the winch mounted, really the only other thing is obviously we got these two spots for pod lights over here, but we will probably run a little 12-inch light bar right there. So that's kind of a wrap up on the front end. Pretty, like I said, excited about the way that turned out. Definitely changed the looks of the buggy, a little bit different than what it was for sure. Our transmission and transfer case did not show up this weekend, so hopefully over the next week it will show up. We are having to change the transfer case mount, or the transmission mount, because it was set up for a turbo 350, and we're going with the turbo 400, so it's a little bit longer. So hopefully over the next week we'll be able to get that done. Once we get that done, the next big thing is I got to figure out what seats I want to put in this thing, just so I can make sure I'm gonna have to modify the seat brackets if I don't decide to go with the Corbus that were in it before. So got to figure out what I'm gonna do there. Really want to get a seat mounted in it, make sure that we have no clearance issue with the seats and the transfer case. And then once I get the seat mounted, we will then work on our door bar that we want to put in. I don't want that bar to be too high or to be too low to make it hard to get in and out of the buggy. I still want it to be safe, but I still also want it to be easy to get in and out of. So those are our next things. This is, like I said, this isn't going to be the quickest project in the world because we are so busy here at the shop right now. I'm really just going to be working on this thing on the weekends and maybe just a few days throughout the week. I know it don't look like there's a lot to be done, but man, there's a ton of work to be done in this thing and a lot of money to be spent. So we're going to take this thing slow, make it right, and hopefully have us a nice little trail rig whenever it's all said and done. But that's going to be a wrap for this weekend on the buggy. Comment below. Let us know what you think about this project. Let us know what else you want to see on this project. And we also got to come up with a name for this thing. So if any of y'all have any ideas of what we should name this buggy, leave a comment below. But like I said, that's a wrap for this weekend. Thank y'all guys for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, and just keep helping us grow this channel. Thanks guys, and y'all have a good weekend.